Think it varies from person to person, your comfort level with a second opinion. And I think it's important that you feel very comfortable with the physician you're working with. You feel comfortable with the recommendations you're being given. And that's going to vary from person to person. Some people need to hear similar recommendations from multiple people, and some people immediately feel comfortable with their doctor and feel comfortable moving forward with the plan that's put in place. So I think it's very variable person to person. I also think to some extent you have to rely on your doctor. Your doctor will know this is something that I can take care of, or this is something where you need to go to a specialty center. This is something rare and unusual that needs to be directed to a hub, or this is something that right where you live, we're very capable of taking care of. And really, you have to rely on your doctor's knowledge, and when they think that it's something that you need to seek a subspecialty center, or you can get your care right at home.
Part of it is your comfort with your doctor. Do you get a sense that this is some problem that they see all the time? And to the extent that sense in your gut that might say, I probably don't need a second opinion. One question I often ask a specialist is, how often do you see this problem? Or how often do you operate on this problem? And if they say, well, a couple a year, I would say it's time to start shopping. If it's, I see this all the time, and you feel good that this is a person you can interact with, I would say you may not need a second opinion. Now, we did exactly that. We felt completely comfortable with you, both Gail and I. And for us, time was of the essence, because she had advanced cancer, and waiting a couple weeks to get a specialty visit and then getting on that person's schedule, it might have been 4 or 8 weeks before we had an operation. And we weren't willing to take the risk that things could have spread during that time. So we chose not to get a second opinion. Now, if there's a recurrence and we're looking for a clinical trial, okay, maybe then we'll get a second opinion. But I think for now, we're great. How do you decide whether it's just good enough to get the doctor down the street, or do I need to go to the Mecca, whether it's MD Anderson for cancer or Hopkins for some rare disorder? How do you make that decision?
I think you ask your doctor. If you said to me, I want to get a second opinion, I want to see if there's any other options out there, then I can tell you, based on what's going on with you medically, if you put 100 of me in front of you, we're all going to tell you the same thing. Then you go to the doctor next door. And if there's something you're seeking in particular from that person, a different personality, are you getting a second opinion to confirm the information you're being given, or it's not a good match, you and the physician that you're meeting with, that can determine who would be the best person to see if you want a second opinion. Also, I can tell you, okay, this is really rare, and they have trials, a good program in sarcoma at this location, or a good program in some very niche rare disease type at any place, and that could be anywhere in the country, depending on what's going on with you medically.